back to the Narrative Club. On today's episode, I'll be sitting and talking to Dominic and Aqeel on their upcoming film, Turn of the Cheeks, that will be airing this Saturday on Vimeo. So come on in, kick back and relax. But before you do that, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we upload a new video. Well, welcome to the Narrative Club.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Dominic and Aqeel, to tell us about y'all new up-and-coming movie, Turn of the Cheek.
Turn of the Cheek.
And it airs this Saturday, correct?
Yes.
8 p.m.
Okay, let's get a little feedback about how did y'all get into the industry and just a little overall about yourself. You go first.
Well, I always, when I was younger, I would like to think that I'd be an actor or something someday. My pops always told me it's something I should get into. I never really thought it was something I'd obtain later on, you know. But as far as like what got me kind of my foot in the door, I tried like modeling, you know, and just getting around the entertainment and the industry and just seeing how everybody operates and like how things, fast-paced movement and the, you know, the organization in some senses. I took a break from that. It wasn't really for me, and but I liked that feel, you know. I liked the feel of being around and being around everybody making progression with their career, you know. And the opportunity presented itself for this movie, and I didn't know if I was gonna get it, if they was gonna accept it, or if nothing, because I don't have no experience. You know what I'm saying? I was a little bit on the self-conscious end of myself when it comes to that, because I didn't have no experience. But yeah, it turned out great. I jumped in the water, and it turned out to be something I love. Yeah, started really swimming. I love it. Yeah, but yeah, that's.
So every other role you played before now was just extras. It was never a main character.
Yeah, like, and honestly, leading up to this movie, I've done some being extra in a couple like films here and there, you know, just because, like I said, I wanted to get the feel of being on set, and then I quickly learned that you don't use that word when you be coming with dialogue and stuff. Once I started talking to a couple people, I'm like, yeah, I did extra there. You don't use that word. Sorry, but if you keep jumping in, you start getting your real movies and stuff like that, you kind of leave that extra word out of there. But.
So once you get your main character role, I played in such and such.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that in a humble way. I guess just from what my understanding in this industry, once you've taken that extra initiative after you've seen that, like, because I feel like as an extra, you really know if you want to do it or not, and take forth more work at it, you know, or take any extra classes or speak. You know, I network a lot. I love speaking to everybody, and, you know, I'm a real personable type of person, so I like to, everybody comes with different walks of life, you know, I do as well. So I feel that's very important. You never know what somebody can help you out. You can help somebody out, and that's what the case here was for me pretty much, you know.
And you just gave me enlightenment on something that extra. Let me clarify for those that's sitting and watching. Let's clarify what an extra is.
An extra is fill in for the background. For the
Exactly. So if you have a speaking, talking, action role, you're not considered an extra. An extra is the one that's sitting at the table, not saying anything. Right. An extra is somebody's dancing behind the scene, not saying anything. And an extra does down. We don't want to downplay it because the extra sitting there from sun up to sundown and sometimes not even make the cut. So I tell people, they're like, why you ain't calling me to be an extra? I'm like, girl, you got a job. Yeah, and you never know because it might not make the cut. You be sitting there like, want to see that.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me. I done sat around and have me place and you sit there and act like you're doing this and I ain't even see myself in there.
And the camera would be like right here, like, no, I'm in there.
You be whining like, wait, I had to miss it.
I'm supposed to be right there.
I'm sitting next to her, they're like, we don't see you, my arm.
Right.
My arm.
Right.
Man, it does happen, but that's still growth. Like
100%.
It actually set the tone for the real, when you get, like you say, you get called and you are one of the main characters in this one. So it was like, now I know, like you say, I go to a place, they tell me to be here at 6 a.m. I might not leave until 5 a.m. the next day. So, and I know this just by, yeah. I say, but at least you know now, I'll be in the shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the shot. So that's this enough. Dominic. No, not Dominic. Aqeel.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I guess we sort of had a similar path. Like I said, this has been a dream of mine since 8 or 9 years old. It was many moons ago, and it's been an affirmation in my life. I started out in music, and so God bless my sister. She's gone now, but she was 3 years younger than I was, and so definitely like 9 years old. And I told her one day that's gonna be me. And back then we had Run DMC and all of that. So I remember telling her like, one day we'll be like Run DMC. I'll be getting out my limo with my three-piece suit and Adidas too. And that's been our running joke like for all of our lives. And so, it's crazy because just talking about this moment, I didn't intend to talk about it, but coming down here today, I was just still on that thought like, wow, we're about to turn the cheek. Is about to come Saturday. It's gonna be like worldwide, and my sister didn't make it to actually see her brother there. But yeah, so it's not bittersweet, but it's still a joy. So praise God, she's looking. But so in 2010, I did my first play, which was called I'll Rise Again, in which I played the lead role with Jesus in a theatrical play with the church, my home church back in North Carolina, and that was just incredible. And so the rehearsals were great, but the day of the play, the actual play, and me playing Jesus, it was just one of those living in the moment experiences. And I had taken acting classes at that time. I just was working on the spirit, and so the scene that we had was, again, I was playing Jesus, and I was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and I was, Peter, James, and John was there, giving the role and going back and forth, and I'm telling them, I was like, and you couldn't stay awake for an hour, and that last time when I went back into the garden and now I'm talking to God, it hit different. It hit very different to where our broken spirit, and if you know that scripture, it said when Jesus wept, but when Jesus prayed, he prayed and there was a teardrop of blood that came down, and that's what stuck with me about living in the moment, because it became a real moment. Real moment for me. And so the next time that my acting career would pick up was 2015. We had moved to Michigan. Well, my wife came out in 2012 to go to law school, and the following year, the rest of the family came out. And I just resigned from a job. And I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I got a call to come down and audition for this one agency. I won't call their names. But I couldn't figure out, I still don't know how they got my information, but they called me, and so I'm thinking business-wise. I'm thinking like, okay, cool. We suited up. I told the family, like, look, everybody get suited up. We all going down. So we come through the door. I was like, hey, I know you guys invited me down to audition, but do you mind if my family audition? And they was like, sure. So we all auditioned and we got signed. And but about 3 days later, something happened and we parted ways with that agency. And then I saw on like Facebook, because I live in Lansing, and so didn't know anybody that's in the acting world, and so like I said, I saw this opportunity on Facebook, and didn't know how to self-tape or none of the stuff I need to do now. So I had my little 35 millimeter camera, set it up, did it, and had no backdrop or nothing like that, and I just did what I thought needed to be done, and praise God, I actually got it. And that was my first acting role, and it was a principal role. So yeah, it was real good, and I think the best thing about it was I literally got paid as soon as we finished filming it there, and I was like, this is real, like. And then about 30 days later, then I got cast. It's crazy. I got cast as a model in the Walk Fashion Show. A month later, the first time, I'm scared to death. Like, I'm a public speaker and everything, but
that's a very
but to walk out on the stage and like all these lights and all these people, like, yeah, I ain't come to do this right here. So, but and so from, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but from one thing to another, we started out. Went down to get some headshots to Chicago. Down there, my headshot photographer asked me, you ever been on Chicago PD and all this stuff? It's like, nah, my wife was telling me about these shows coming down, and so we went back, we applied, and got a call that Saturday, started out, boom, with just extras, and then we got featured. So at the time, I didn't have cable even in my crib, and so one night I'm laying on the couch, just with my phone, and text messages were flying in. I was like, what in the world's going on? And next thing I know, it's like, is this you? And they got me in the frame. I'm in the whole TV screen, my big chunky smile, like, I was like, oh, snap. I was like, I ran upstairs, like, yeah. So it was crazy, you know. And from that same day when we got off set, like, I got booked for Chicago PD before we can even get out of it. It just took off. And so, so they reiterate on that extra. Extra is big because you learn everything and learning how to, you know, cameras and learning your angles in it. So I went from extra to feature to actually having roles on the different Chicago shows. So
yeah. God just showed up for you out of the blue.
Woo, yes.
Like
in a major way.
you're not a door opened up.
Yeah, in a major way.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your new up and coming film. You one of the main characters in it. What role are you playing? I saw the trailer. So I know it's phenomenal. It's different from like the regular hood movies that come out of Detroit.
That's good.
So, which is very good and different. So it is like, from what I saw from the trailer, you killed your role.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I love hearing how other people view it, because that's how I view it as well. Mm-hmm. That's how I perceive the way this movie is. It's very powerful, even throughout the whole process, and learning about becoming an actor, as well as learning a lot about myself in the process, because it's a strong role, and I bit off a lot, not more than I could chew, but I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into as far as like the technicalities and learning and things that I didn't know about, you know. But it was amazing. It truthfully was. The whole cast really made it in the production. Just absolutely everybody involved really made it what it was to give that feel. And I truly feel that it was authentic. So it's awesome hearing that by you, your opinion on the trailer. But I play King Vasquez. He's struggling with a lot of hardships, and he really has a lot of passion for, you know, trying to do better for his son. He would like to, but he's in a position to where he's limited for resources. And when he backed up in the corner, you know, and he makes a foolish decision, and it's real. It's real. Like I can say in so many words. It's just such a real film that could really happen. I have family members that feel this when I describe, you know, the storyline to it. You know, people have actually been in this position in life, and the fact that it comes off meaningful, it means that like I know that it touches people in a way that it might change your mind on the way that you think, enlighten you in a way to where it could bring you forward on a troubled situation. You know, it could get you over some things that you've had trouble with in the past. And I think for my first film, and it felt so empowering that somebody like Janae believed in me so much as a new actor. That doesn't happen. That truthfully is God, you know, and I truthfully believe that there's no other way to look at it in my eyes. You know, God does amazing things, and like how he was saying, I relate to what he just said as well a lot. Yeah, it was truthfully just it was breathtaking, man.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to explain because it gets me. It's hard for me to really get it out because it was like it's an emotional movie. Like you'll probably watch this movie.
No, because it's in the trailer, so I could say it. But
right.
The jail scene when you're in the jail, she mentioned your son, and this is what she's telling you. They telling you like, and you like this. I don't have anybody for him. Mm-hmm. Like you made a mistake, but this is not. You don't want him to pay the ultimate price. Mm-hmm. That pain came out in the trailer.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how when I say I know the actor when I see it. Now I have to look at the full movie to get the full, you know, impact of it. But I know in that moment, in that scene, you sold it.
I appreciate it. I was really trying to live through that moment every single time. And for me being a new actor, when people ask me to describe how I feel about it and my experience and what I feel now that I've gotten my first feature film out of the way, and every time someone asks me, I'm still new to this, so like anytime, the best way I can describe it is second that action is called, I'm not myself. Like all the nerves, all the everything, and I found it, you know, surprising myself because I'll be leading up to the scene, and I know I'm confident in my lines, and I'll stumble if I have questions. Thankfully, I have cast that'll help me, but when it came to action, I literally lived through it because I felt that that's what Janae was really trying to envision, and I wanted to make sure that was to the T as much as possible, and I was able to pull from situations relatable, so it made it a pretty good fit for a role for me.
Okay, Aqeel, your character.
Well, I want to. You mind if I talk about him? It's like some embellishment though, but like I said, before we started, this is our first time since filming. Actually, this is our first time together since rehearsal. Because when you see the film, you realize like we have a protagonist and antagonist here, and we're like it's almost like my family versus his family situation. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't seen each other, so it's
you're
like,
the husband in it.
Yes, okay. I play Thomas Green, but and I'll come back to mine, but I just want to embellish him some because in real life, like we all met as strangers and came away in love, a family, and that's a real. So I'm getting chills when he's sitting here. He was talking about it, and I was like, man, Dom gonna break first. I was like, good. This is like I can see him getting choked up. I was like, yeah, I wasn't either because I'm always the water bucket. Right. But to literally sit here when I tell you, like, and we literally sat across the table in rehearsals from each other, so I know looking in his eyes, like, he didn't come in. He is very light, man. I was telling him, I said, man, you shining, you bright right now. And when he came in, he was hard, and and I watch him in all his interviews, and he's like, I'm so reserved, I don't really talk, and I'm just like. It's crazy because when we met, you weren't like that. It's like after our first table read, it's sort of like I just wrapped my arms around her like, yo, this is my little brother right here, and we were talking, and then, he was saying all this stuff about I never acted before, and I was just like, bro, and I don't give advice, but I was just saying, man, my best words to you, man, is don't worry about all that, live, because he shared some real stuff with me, and I was like, I said, bro, this is gonna be perfect. This is your life. Just live it out. And so, like I said, we didn't see each other film, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, God, like, yo, like, this is going to be crazy. So, yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
real life, man.
Through this whole entire experience, it's real. It's real important. It's really meaningful to me this whole entire time because, like you said, I shared a lot with him when we connected on a level. I shared to him. I was going through a lot of stuff and just being young and overcoming a lot of those type of things through leading up to this movie. So this movie really changed my life. It really saved my life in a way. No exaggeration. It did.
We really lived through this moment, like you were talking about his character. Like mine is Thomas Green, so I play the husband, and so when you look at it, you're seeing a direct juxtaposition of characters and situation to where my life is probably more polished. However, I have a background in my character to why I am the way I am. And so there's some incidents that happen on how we become connected. And, as this Christian husband, as I am in real life, it's it was a real situation. And so, as much as I loved them at the start, like I said, looking across the table each week.
The feeling was there, like he would use his character 100%, like throughout the whole entire time. That's how I viewed him as, like, really.
It just was real, like the title. Like I said, I told you I come from read books, so I like a good story. Right. So when I'm like with the title alone, I'm like, oh, the trailer didn't give me enough. So where I have to go. I know I have to watch it to get the whole full of the title. Because I'm looking like turning the cheek. It's like they against it, but it's like so something gotta happen in it.
Yeah, so, I want to tell you, like even when they released their first, the unofficial trailer, I was like, wow, they gave that.
Right.
I was like, what? Yeah. But then I was like, why they do that? And but the trailer went on, I was like, they ain't tell everything. Like that right there sort of not misled people, but it reeled to me so much because I'm just like,
it really wins.
Like when you not even from that, things started way beyond that, and it's gonna be like, I don't even like using the word emotional. It's so spiritual because there are things happening in each other's lives that, like, even down to the last scene. I was saying this in another interview. Like, you're gonna be forced to draw lots on. Like, there's this incredible love that we share. So when this point happens in the film, there's a destruction because it shifts the focus off this loving couple and their building and their background to, like I said, you drawn in so much, and then all of a sudden, you imagine like everything is going good, and then just like blindside out of it. Yeah, and then it just grieving. Grieving just makes you things that you would have never thought about doing. It just is so incredible. Like it's a lot of weight,
Yeah, I was say it had to be adjusting to actually fit into your character.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when you get on set, they realize, like I just said with the last cast I just interviewed, we don't know what you go through before you come on set.
Yeah.
You come to set, you become who you are. Who the script say you are, you adjust to that. So with something as heavy as what's going on here in this whole set, because I know the actual main base and what the main problem is. You gotta watch the trailer, guys, to see what I'm talking about. But because I don't want to give it away, I actually want them to watch the trailer and be prepared for the movie and prepared for the whole filming of it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the jail scene alone.
Yeah,
I was like, you can feel the emotion and the heart wrenching in there, like the pain within it. But it's like that's a love of a child. So loving your child, and it's a love of your child. So it's like I can feel it through them looking like, okay, I see the Blacksmith family.
And it's so much more like I've worked in a prison, and so to talk with the many inmates that are serving time and had left their kids behind, and so there's an examination that I'm looking for realness in, and I won't even say they sold it, they lived it, and it's just one of those. The authenticity, like I said, that was our whole. Everybody wanted to just be authentic. Yeah. Not like my scene gonna be the dominant one, and my scene. No, it was like this is family. Like we gotta.
Let's make this.
Yeah, like let's. Well, you know what? It wasn't even so much like let's make the movie. I want to tell you, it was more about that we gotta get this message across.
Yeah, we gotta get this message
across. But it was so many messages.
It was. There is.
So many. You gonna examine your life from so many perspectives.
Yeah, because I can see now, even like I said, the trailer.
Yeah.
Will I be able to turn the cheek? No.
I've been asked. You been asked that question every time, and I honestly
from the trailer. That's just from the trailer. I'm looking like eye for an eye.
Yeah. And I was. That's what. I'm serious. That's why I said I was literally like.
Because he's crying out and he's hurt, and I'm looking like, well, what about them?
Yeah, but I'm like, so what?
Right.
Like, so what? I'm crying.
I'm like, I don't care, King. He did it. Over there. That's his issue, his problem.
Yeah.
So where can we watch this, and when do it drop? Let us know. I know I said in the beginning, but you got to remind people exactly what time to tune in. And how much is it for y'all? How about excited to see the price?
So it's going worldwide this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Vimeo on demand, and it's $14.99 to pre-order. So
and you can pre-order it now, so you can have it all set.
Absolutely, please. Like, and as I told Janae, I'm sure he did too. But it's like it's not even about like this is. He said it's his first film, but it's unique to me because this is my first feature film role as well, and it's both of our first faith-based.
Faith-based, yeah, that's what got me. It's our first faith-based film, and we got brought together like this, and it really had us all feeling the way that we felt. I thought that's so powerful to me, for it to be a faith-based film, and we come from different walks of life and stories, and we're able to make this be what it is.
You gotta see this, and it's not like I said. Take us out the film.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be a real game changer when I talk about from the rough side of the tracks to what you think is a nice side, but not knowing the background. Husband and wife relationships are gonna be incredibly. You're gonna have to look at different moments, and just want to say that we just, myself and Crystal, we did our best to give you every intimate moment of every aspect. Is for real. And I remember I heard that Diesel actually thought that she and I were married in real life.
Right, I swear, for real, that's how it was.
Wow.
That's acting.
They felt like a real family. When they was on set, it was like it's really them.
Yeah, and the same for them. Watching them in rehearsal, you sitting there like, man, do they know each other in real life? Because the energy they had was like, I don't know if I remember asking you or not. I was like, bro, did you really do something to her that like,
Yeah.
That's the energy. Like it was real. And it's no fluff. That's the other thing I love. Every scene has got like a million messages in it. Not heavily distracting you, but it's real. Like
so it's real and it's faith based.
Yes.
So we always need some faith based with all the movies that's out now and the hood love. So it's like a breath of fresh air. So $14.99 Vimeo, 8 p.m. Turn the cheeks, check them out. I thank y'all for coming to sit, talking with us, kicking it with the Narrative Club. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And these comments, when we put up the reviews, y'all want to hear the comments, y'all want to hear the feedback.
All the feedback.
And all the feedback. Let them know, even if you didn't care for the character, even if you love the character.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people don't understand that we work for them. We work
we
hard for them.
Yeah, we want to know.
We want the comment. We want the feedback.
No, I want to know flat out what you thought. Whether it's good or bad, I need to know.
They're not gonna come looking for y'all, and they ain't
ain't nothing like that.
I don't know why they think that though.
And it's gonna be I would probably make this my last statement, but it's gonna be a real Christian experience, not the cookie cutter. Like it's not gonna be cookie cutter. You're gonna see some love, some intimacy, some seduction, but it's all gonna be tasteful. You're gonna see the other side of the tracks. You're gonna see that struggle to get to that point. And the question is it really turn the cheek? That's what the draw is.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Turn of the cheek, 8 p.m. Saturday, Vimeo. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Appreciate you.